So today we're going to be attempting a 4th order enclosure for the Mazda. So if you've been following along, you already know that I've already purchased 8 of these NVX 15s to go in the bistro, but I can't wait, so I'm going to go ahead just for trial and error, simply because I've never built a 4th order. But I sat down probably for an hour and a half, 2 hours, just kind of getting my measurements and everything before I start on this, just to know I'm pretty much certain it's going to perform very well. So going to be doing 4 15s of the NVX version 3s in a 4th order. So got some supplies here. Today is Monday, July 7th. So this coming Saturday is the XS show, and I'm gonna have to really grind it out to try and get this thing finished before then. So won't be a whole lot of talking in this video, just kind of time lapses and, you know, videos of me working on it and stuff. But yeah, so without further ado, let's get started. All right, so making a little progress here. So I didn't record anything just because I was really, you know, wanted to make sure I didn't make a boo-boo and cut something wrong. So now that I'm getting more comfortable with, you know, kind of knowing what I need to do, I'll start recording from here on out. But out of a whole 4x8 sheet, I only wound up with this much scrap left over. So really just trying to make do with every inch I could here. So let me just go real quick. So this is what I come up with on the measurements and everything for this 4th order here. So this is the bottom chamber, obviously, and this is the first layer of baffle. So I'm gonna do a triple layer baffle. So what I come up with is I'm gonna do a 2-to-1 ratio. So the information I acquired online is for a 15-inch sub, I think it's 1.5 to 2.5 cubes per sub in the sealed section. So I'm going to end up going with 2 cubes per sub sealed. So that gives me, I need 8 cubes for the bottom chamber, and since it's 2-to-1, I need 16 cubes in the top, and the sub displacement is 0.52 for all 4 of them. And then so I'm gonna go with 15 square inches of port per cube, and you basically go off the cubes of the top chamber. So 15 square inches times 16 cubes gives me 240 square inches of port. And then my port, I'm gonna do 10 foot tall, or 10 inches tall by 24 inches wide. And so for a port length, for it to be tuned at 45 hertz, I need it to be 7 inches. So it's 37.5 wide, 37.5 long. That's the internal dimensions, and 10 inches tall. So after displacement from the brace that I'm going to use, I got 8.067 cubic feet, so right at 8 cubes. So, and then internal for the top chamber, 37.5 wide, 37.5 long, 20.5 tall. Brace needs to be 20.5. Total volume after sub displacement is 16.163. So then if I throw another brace in the top, that should get me right at 16. So yeah, just a little breakdown of kind of what I was able to come up with. And like I said, I've never built one of these before, but just trying to take my time, make sure I do it the best of my ability. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna keep trucking along on this thing, so stick around and see what we come up with. Okay, so after 12 holes later, I got all 3 baffles cut out. And I got them labeled. This is the back baffle. That's the front of the baffle. So that'll be closest to the cab. That'll be, got them labeled also which one's going where. So that's number 2. Number 3 right here is going to be the final layer, the one that the subs mount to. And what I like to do is, just so I know that my surround is not going to be rubbing on the wood, so what I'm doing is, if this is the back of the baffle here, I want all the subs to be facing to where the label is facing. Like when you look back, you can see the label. Everything's in the same line. So I like to go ahead and pre-drill my holes. That way I know exactly where it needs to sit and the surround not be rubbing. So once I get it lined up all the way around, making sure that there's no part of that foam touching the wood, then I go ahead and I just pre-drill my holes. That way everything works out good. So I found this at Lowe's. So it's a 3-foot long piece of angle iron with the holes in it. So it's a 1/4 inch, 1.25 by 1.25 inch, 3 foot long. So, and this bottom section is 37 and a half. So that works out pretty good. So instead of Craig jig screwing from the side, I'm basically just gonna mount it just like so, and that way I can screw in from the side here, and of course there'll be another layer of wood out here. So 2 layers to screw into here and 3 layers to screw into yonder way. But before I can do that, I've got to take these sides pieces off because they're just temporarily screwed together, as well as the bottom. That way I can go ahead and throw some PL on the joints there and go ahead and get her secured. So I got the final 2 pieces for the sides right here. Got these cut to size, and what I did is I went ahead and I clamped them both down, and I basically just gridded everything off to where my screw holes is going to go. And then I'm going to just come through here and pre-drill. That way I don't have to mark both pieces off twice. I can just pre-drill and it'll drill through both of them. So let's get these things drilled, countersunk, get some glue put on these things, and let's get these things slapped on here. Alright guys, so unfortunately, if you're seeing this, I did not get the box done before the excess show, but I promise you it was not from lack of trying. So let me show you what I got done. So all the footage that you just saw was done over the course of a 4-day span on top of working third shift. So if you know, you know. And this has been a lot of work so far, so that's why I'm going to break this video up into 2 parts. So let me just show you what we're working with so far. So I've got everything done minus I don't have this top piece completely screwed on. It's just I've got the holes pre-drilled. But I can't do that because I was basically wanting to do some test fitting before I completely, you know, permanently attach this top layer. So I gotta finish this top layer, but before I can do that, I've got to cut. See, this will be the back of the box, what you see from the rear end of the truck, and that section right there will actually be where the port is, where the box is ported into the cab. So that was where I kind of hit a little snag, and it kind of threw me off because whenever I was doing my original measurements for the port, I was measuring from the inside, and I completely forgot that on the back side of this panel there's a gap, about a, I don't know, 2 to 3 inch gap on the top and the bottom on the inside. So whenever I went to go double check my measurements for my port, I was off. So then that's when I basically come to the realization that I had to pull that whole back panel, and it was getting late. It was Friday afternoon, evening time, and staying up after third shift that day, and it was just not happening. So kind of cut my losses, said it is what it is, and we'll finish it another day. So, but I mean, honestly, for 4 days, this is a lot of progress. I got this as the access panel. Still got to go back and put some window seal around the edges of that. Of course, wood fill all the screw holes and everything like that. And since I'm going to be taking my time with it, I'm going to go ahead, paint the inside and everything. I got some LEDs I'm going to throw in there as well. And so originally I bought this thing of screws. So this is a 3-pound 490 screws, and I'm almost out. So I have a feeling that there's going to be at least 500 plus screws in this box, plus a whole tube of PL. I'm about 2/3 of the way out of it. We'll probably be down to roughly here once it's all said and done. So almost, you know, 2/3 of a gallon of wood glue. So I don't think I'm gonna have any issues with the strength of the box. But yeah, so I got to pull that rear panel, and I've got to make a template and trace that rear panel, cut it out, and then I'm going to double up and make it 1.5 inches thick, because that rear panel is only 3/4, so I'm going to double it up, make it thicker. And the reason I'm having to do that whole panel is because I don't have the height to make my port square inches come out to where it need to be. So I'm going to have to make the port a lot wider than what I originally planned on. So it's going to be pretty wide, probably about 8 inches tall. Once I get that pulled out, I'll be able to figure it out more. But yeah, so once I get that figured out, I can permanently attach this top layer, get my second piece for the top layer glued and screwed, and then get this second layer on here and the port, get all that situated. But that's going to be in the next video. So if you've enjoyed this video so far, make sure you hit that like button. I really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and stay tuned for the next one. We'll be finishing up the 4th order for the 415s and the Mazda here. But until the next one, guys, thank you for watching. This is Derek signing out.